for share screen or video file?
Yeah, if you can share video file, it will be in the system, and Gertje can use it, and it will disappear after we close it again.
Okay, but then I need to upload a video file, and I only have the song as a.
You can share it later on as a.
Okay, I will do that later.
As a share screen, if you have the Dropbox open, you can share your screen.
Okay. Okay. But then again, I'm just thinking. I actually have the video somewhere.
Or even your YouTube. You can even share the screen if you have YouTube open, and then the sound comes through your desktop.
Okay.
Probably it works with you. With me, it doesn't work, unfortunately.
Actually, here it is. So I will upload this one to desktop.
Gertje, are we live?
Yeah, we are live, and people see the screen, and you can talk to people that are already watching.
I will stop looking for files in my computer. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Ragnar. Welcome.
Hello.
At SkandinavienLive. We are very happy to have you here to introduce you as a person, a musician, as an artist. And yeah, let's start with my long list of questions I have for you. First of all, how are you currently? Is something possible online or offline in Iceland? And how do you feel about it?
It's so weird because when COVID hit, I expected this to be a downtime, and I expected it to be, something terrible for my career and everything that I have going on. But it turned out to be quite the opposite. And I've never been more busy than I have been in the last 12 months. And I was busy before that, but now I'm even more busy. And this is in the middle of a pandemic. So I guess this is a long way of saying that the answer to your question is I'm doing really good, I guess. It's
that sounds brilliant.
I'm healthy. That's the one thing. And all my friends and loved ones are healthy still. So, and the music is going good.
Perfect.
Couldn't ask for more, actually.
So can you please introduce yourself for the people that don't know you, and also the band Arstudir you're part of?
Yes. So my name is Ragnar Ólafsson. I'm a musician living in Reykjavik. And my main project is Árstíðir. And I guess that's how most people know of me, of my music. But having said that, I am a musical chameleon, which means that I make, it's safe to say I make every kind of music there is. Name a genre, and I will have recorded and released something in that genre, except perhaps hip hop. And that's something that I also strive for, because I believe that the more musical colors that you try out and learn to master, the more of a musical painter you can, a better painter you become. So this is not an easy question just to define what I'm doing, but I make music and I live in Iceland. That's the short answer.
That's cool. Before you told me about hard rock project. Can you describe this a little bit more in this context?
The hard rock project?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the reason we bring it up this early in the interview is because this band will be releasing a new album on the 4th of June. Ask a Slave is a heavy rock band, and I guess for many fans of Árstíð who know Árstíð and in Árstíð usually, because we always sing in harmonized voices, and I have the highest voice, it's very angelic. People who know me singing with Árstíð and then they hear me sing with this heavy rock band, Ask a Slave, they usually get a shock first, because in Ask a Slave I am screaming, I'm growling, I am also singing melodically, but it's a whole different kind of beast. And the band is called Ask the Slave. Yeah, that's the band. And we released 2 albums in the zeros. So first album was in 2007 and the second in 2010. Now this is before Spotify arrived, so we only existed on Bandcamp and some obscure homepages that don't exist anymore. But then last winter, actually, in last year in the pandemic, we recorded our 3rd album, and we got signed by a Norwegian metal label, which will release our 3rd and new album on June the 4th, and also re-release the first 2 albums. So on June 4th, on the Spotify link, there will be 3 Ask a Slave albums available. And in Reykjavik, as you all know, and if you're watching this, I assume that you are interested in Icelandic music. It's a very, very sort of friendly community, and all the musicians in Iceland, it's like different animals. We have the hip hop animals, we have the rap animals, we have the classical animals, and we have the metal animals. But they all coexist and they all work together. And some of the animals, like myself, are active in all the different genres. And then we usually get nicknames referring to the band that we're most associated with, or first associated with. And for many years now, I've been associated with my band Ask a Slave. So that's why I'm called in Reykjavik Ragnar Slave.
That's super funny.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us an inside view in the music scene in Iceland.
It is a different music scene, and I can tell you this because I have experienced also the Swedish music scene. I used to live in Gothenburg for a few years and was active in the music industry in Gothenburg. So I know both worlds. And Gothenburg obviously is a much bigger context. It's a bigger country, Sweden. And so, yeah, Iceland is definitely a different musical landscape because it's so small.
Okay.
And that's also the secret why Icelandic music sounds the way it does.
Yeah, I think so. Convinced about that. We spoke of your band in the rock section. How would you describe your music style, which with Árstíð, which is so much out of the box?
Yeah, Árstíð is out of the box, and every time we read an interview, every time we read a album review or something, or people writing or talking about Árstíð, they always name us differently. So we've been called folk band, world band, indie band, prog band, acoustic rock band. We've been called chamber pop. We've been called all these different things, neoclassical, singer-songwriter. All these labels have been sort of thrown at us, and people are trying to define what Árstíð is. And I guess that the truth is we're all of these labels, but in a certain mixture. So we have, I guess we have a very special mix, and a musical mix is us. And which is why we sound differently. And the reason why we sound differently is, as I mentioned before, is the fact that the Icelandic music scene is so tightly knit that all the different musicians from different genres, they naturally meet across the borders, across musical borders. And this is very much the case with me, Gunnar, and Daniel, the other two guys you see on the picture. We are totally different musically, and we come from totally different backgrounds musically. We have different ideals. We have different ideas of what good music sounds like. But we still also share, we also share certain things, and we share enough things to agree on the important things. But when we make music, then we all bring these different influences to our music, and then we pull the songs in our in different directions, and it's like a rope tug match between the three of us. But that's how our songs get made, and I believe that because we have this process, and because we are different, because we don't agree always, the songs go through all these different evolutions when we're working on them, and in the end they become interesting because they are something different. Mm. If we all agreed all the time, then I think the songs would be boring. But now the songs are exciting, even to us.
Yeah, that brings me actually to my next question, which is almost already answered. The question is, who writes the songs, and how do you influence each other in this project, in this process?
We all write the songs. We are basically 3 songwriters, and so we all write the songs. And a lot of times it's like a secret competition, like who can write. We're competing. Who can write the most songs? Who can write the best songs? And if somebody writes a really good pop melody, then and I go home and grab my guitar, and I come back, next day or next week with the pop song, and or somebody writes a nice string arrangement, and then the other guy goes and okay, I'm gonna top that. So I think it's a friendly competition. I mean, we are super best friends, and we've been friends for since 2003. So, and I don't consider Gunnar and Daniel my friends anymore. I consider them my brothers, because that's how close we are. But musically, there is like a friendly competition that keeps us going and makes us very productive, because we always want to, push each other, and we keep each other on our toes. So musically, the band is always evolving, is always alive, and we always have more songs on our hands than we can physically release.
Okay, nice. You have a new song. Let's see if we can have a short snippet.
Yes. So if I share the screen, I can play it off of my. All right, I think I have it. So share screen, and what's this? Yeah. Chrome has lost permission. Huh. Sorry, everybody who's listening. I am new to this technology.
Yeah.
Share screen. I can't figure this out, actually.
No problem. Then we put in the YouTube link.
Yes.
Our Regie will do this for us. And the song is called "All Is Well." And when you hear this this title first, it sounds like it is. It should bring hope in the pandemic, but when you listen to the text, it doesn't seem like this. So how important is text and storytelling for you? And also probably in context of this title, in context of the text, and so on.
I'll answer your answer in two sort of points. So first, with All Is Well, the fact that we are releasing this as a first single of our new album cycle is not a coincidence, because it is, although the lyric is very personal, dealing with a personal sort of experience. In this case, it was Gunnar who wrote the song and wrote the lyric. Then the message still holds true. It is a message to the world, and it is like a spell that we're casting, because of the pandemic. That the ending word, the mantra, all is well in the end, all is well in the end as well, is our way of, striking a hopeful note. And we will be releasing a lot of new music in the coming year, and actually also next year. We have accumulated a lot of new material, and we will be releasing a lot of material. So we chose this as a first single because of the pandemic, because this is our way of being positive. Icelanders are a very melancholic people, so when we are trying to be positive, it might even sound melancholic to someone who's not Icelandic, but enough for us, this is our way of being positive. And then to answer your question about lyrics and texts, to all of us in Árstíðir, it's tremendously important. There's no song without a lyric. The song is born with an emotion, and the emotion that triggers the song, or sort of delivers the song, or shapes the song, that emotion has words that we use to describe it, and that's the lyric. So the thought that you can have a melody and then just slap some words on it, to me and Gunnar and Daniel Árstíðir, it's absurd, because the melody and the words are one and the same, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, lyrics are extremely important. And speaking for me personally, I have before I became a full-time musician, I actually had some formal education, and I have a bachelor degree in literature.
Oh.
So studying and analyzing and thinking about texts, metaphors, etc., is something that I really, really care about. So when I make my lyrics, not only do I make sure that the emotional content is right, that the lyrics are true, I also slip in some nice metaphors and some subtexts into them.
Okay, nice. There's actually a question from the audience, which is it easier for you to transport emotions in English or Icelandic?
So that's a very good question, because there's no straight answer to that question. First of all, you have to understand that all Icelanders are bilingual. We have such a small nation, and our language is only spoken by 350,000 people in the whole world, which means that to talk to all the other people in the world, we have to be really good at a second language. So everybody in Iceland today is ultimately bilingual from the start. So we speak English and Icelandic, almost equally. So when we, and in Árstíðir, when we write songs, we never decide whether the song is going to be in English or Icelandic. It just happens. So one day I'll be feeling something, and the lyric will come to me in Icelandic, and other days it will come to me in English. But because we have such a close connection to both languages, it flows naturally. And but then again, also different languages have different. You can express yourself differently in different languages. And I also speak fluent Swedish because I live there, and that is something that I don't use often. I don't write much in Swedish, but if I did, then that would be a completely different color.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So when do you reach a point in the band when everybody's happy with the result? Or is it also the case that you put something in the trash and a song will never happen, for example?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of waste. So you know the old writer's block. So yeah, if you walk into our rehearsing room, the floor is full of these old ideas, and sometimes you'll revisit an idea that you did 7 years ago and think, huh, why did we throw that away? But yeah, I guess when Árstíð, because we are such an eclectic band and we're such different characters, then there is a lot of disagreement, you know, creative disagreements, which is a healthy thing. And because of this, because we don't always agree, then you know the songs who would make it onto the album, you know, there's a truce. We agree that, you know, to put them on the album, but songs are never finished. They're just released in some way.
Okay. There's another question regarding this Icelandic English topic. The question is, does Icelandic maybe sound even better than English?
That's not me. My question to answer, because I use both and I believe both are beautiful. Obviously, many of our fans who listen to Árstíð, they tend to prefer our songs in Icelandic. So we write in both Icelandic and English. And our fans, they often tell us that they are, even though they don't understand the Icelandic lyrics, they think they sound more beautiful. So we're very conscious that people out from outside of Iceland prefer Icelandic lyrics, and they tell us that they think Icelandic sounds more beautiful than English.
Yeah.
For myself, I don't, you know, Icelandic it's just, I cannot be objective to how Icelandic sounds because I've been speaking it my whole life. So, but thank you, Matthias, for this question.
For me, it's actually, I think it's difficult to translate it. When you have a song in Icelandic, then the translation must be horrible because Icelandic is so long words and the pronunciation is so different. Like
yeah.
Then I think that's pretty hard work, I guess.
We never actually translate songs. So even now, just last month, Árstíð, we released, as you mentioned before, this new song called "All Is Well," and we released that single in 2 languages, so both English and Icelandic. Okay. And again, our core fans told us that they liked the Icelandic one better, but lyrically they are different songs. So in this case, Gunnar, he wrote a different lyric for the Icelandic version. Same melody, same emotion, but 2 different stories.
Okay.
So, because translating directly, it never works well. And anyone who's been working with poetry, and I have been studying poetry as part of my bachelor degree in literature, and anybody who tries to translate poetry knows that, you know, symbolism, context, all these things, cultural context that go into poetry is something that you can never fully translate. You can just you can convey a sense of the gifts, but you can never convey fully the translation. Okay. So if you want to understand Spanish poetry, then you have to learn Spanish and you have to live in Spain for 10 years and, you know the culture, and then you can appreciate a Spanish poem, and, you know, same with Icelandic poetry, etc., etc.
Understand. Yeah, let's go back in the days when we met in 2013. It was 2 days after a video that was recorded in a Wuppertal train station. Can we have a short look at Icelandic? today this video has this video has 7.5 million views.
Mhm.
Can you tell us what happened and if something has changed after that?
Yeah, long story. I guess we are a band that plays vocal-based music, but it's sort of we play with instruments and sing and harmonize, and we used to sing these a cappellas, which is like traditional Icelandic choir pieces, as a way of rehearsing our intonation with each other. So this is 2010-11 when we were starting to tour, and we would sing these a cappellas in the tour bus on tour, just to keep our voices and also our intonation with each other, keep it fresh. And then slowly these a cappellas, because we knew them, they naturally started to appear on our shows. So we were not a cappella vocal group, but for every show we would maybe sing 1 or 2 or 3 songs a cappella, and we noticed that people liked it, so we kept doing it. And also in Iceland, every December we've had since 2008 a traditional Christmas show, and where we also sing a lot of these traditional old Icelandic choral pieces. And this one is actually the oldest Icelandic Nordic hymn you can find. It's actually the oldest Nordic hymn that is known. Heiðna smiður was written by Kolbeinn Tumason in 1208. He was a Viking chieftain who was going to battle, and he was fearing that he would lose his life, and wrote this song, this hymn in 1208, the day before he went into battle. And sure enough, he died in the battle. And also it's interesting because this is just after Iceland was Christian, so the heathen gods had given way to the new god. So it's actually a Christian hymn, and that's the song we sang on this train station in Wuppertal, and which is so funny how things can happen. We just played a show in this music venue that's in the same building as a train station. And when this incident happened that you just saw here, we had just finished the show maybe 1-2 hours earlier, and we had been drinking some nice German beer, talking to fans, selling CDs, signing some T-shirts, and I remember the guys went out in the hall and they were sort of singing, and I didn't think more of it, but they realized that this train station hall was like a dome. It had this incredible reverb, and they were playing with it. And my friend Linda says, "Hey, Ragnar, you should join the guys." And I run out and join them, and she takes up her camera. And this is before everybody had iPhones, and so she just had a normal photo camera that had a very primitive video option. And we didn't know she was recording it, but we just sang the song Heiðna smiður. And it wasn't until after we finished that we realized that all the people that had been at the show were just standing around, the ones who were still there, standing around like this. And but thinking back, I remember there was a special feeling singing this song in this incredible reverb, and we never sang it this slowly before, but we sang it so slowly because the time it took the notes to travel and come back in the reverberation of the hall made us slow down the pace, and that made the song even more magical. So it's not about the melody anymore. It was about the playing with the room, and it's a special room. So it was a special thing that happened, and I'm really happy that our friend Linda caught it on the camera. Next morning, we watched the video and we thought, it's a very nice moment, but the video quality and the sound quality is below our standard, because everything we release has we have a very high standard for our music, audio-wise. So we thought, let's not post it. But then we thought, okay, let's just post it on YouTube and and see what happens. And then an hour later, it had 10,000 views, and from there it just went up and up. So it was nice to experience this this purely viral experience. And the reason why it's so purely viral is because we didn't really do anything to make it viral. We were just, you know, kind of tipsy, drinking German beer and having fun on a train station, and just happened to, you know, as a coincidence that the song we sang is the oldest Nordic hymn that, you know, exists. But in hindsight, it's quite a cultural significant thing, and I'm really happy it happened, and I'm really happy it exists because it has really moved a lot of people.
Yeah, I would call it a modern Icelandic saga, this story. It's really nice.
Yes, it is.
It combines. And
it actually made this song famous outside Iceland, because it wasn't famous outside Iceland before this. But obviously after this performance, it became famous. And then we see the song popping up in TV shows and, you know, international connections all over the world in the recent years. I think last time I heard it was in The Handmaid's Tale TV series, and every time I hear Helena Smiður played in a Netflix TV show or something, then I sort of know that, oh yeah,
yeah,
we helped to make this song famous.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a great honor to be sort of ambassadors of old Icelandic culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when we met that days, you agreed to support our film and photo project, Amaya, with your song. And we choose the song Rauen, which is an instrumental one. Can we have a short...
As far as your mind allows you to go, although you're strong enough, you kind of have to push it sometimes with your mind.
With me, I feel like I'm always getting closer and closer to...
Thank you very much. We will share this link as well. And we enjoyed it very much to work with this song. We still love this song. This doesn't happen with many songs, that you can listen it for years and you get goosebumps every time again. So thank you again for that.
Thank you.
Are you otherwise involved in making film music?
I have never strived to become working in the visual medium, but the visual medium has found me again and again. And in the last few years, it's crept up on me. And I've been asked, I'm not talking about the band, I'm talking about me personally. I've been asked by people to make music. So it was 4 years ago, I made a short movie, a children's movie. I made a soundtrack for that one, and I made some trailers and little things like that. And every time I made something to the visual medium, I realized that I actually have a knack for it. It comes to me naturally. So when I see something, a moving image, just the colors of the color grading, or like the way the scene is shot, it will inform me. I will hear a sound or a certain soundscape. So like I said, I never strived to become a composer for TV and film, but as of lately, this is all I've been doing. And right now I've been scoring a TV series, an Icelandic TV series, 8 episodes, 1 season. It's called Fractures and will be released next fall. So it'll be shown on Icelandic national TV and a couple of European TV stations. I don't know. I don't have a list of which ones will air it, but it's going to some European countries. And yeah, so I am most definitely all of a sudden very much involved in writing and scoring for TV.
Great. Can you tell us a bit about the platform Patreon you told me before? And how useful it is for musicians and what you are doing there? I've never heard before.
Yes, Patreon is it's sort of a it's a crowdfunding. But it's like a slower one. Like, so instead of funding one time and getting one thing, you can sort of subscribe. So this is my Patreon page that you see here, and you can subscribe for €1 a month or 3, whatever you feel you want to donate. But whatever you donate, you will get access to the same thing. And on my Patreon page, I make videos. I post music exclusively that only people who are my patrons ever get to hear. And because I'm involved in all these different projects, Árstíð, heavy rock, and now I'm doing music for TV, and more and more and more, then I have plenty of things to talk about. So on my Patreon page, I give an insight to my musical process that I don't give anywhere else. And also, what's really nice about this Patreon page is because, and the difference between Patreon and Facebook, when I post on Facebook, there's a certain degree of anonymity because I just post on Facebook and I don't know who's reading it, and anybody can read it. Mm-hmm. But on Patreon, it's like a community, and all the people who support me, they have a different access to me, and I have a different sort of obligation to them, which sort of makes a bond. And then again, every 2 weeks, I do an online concert, usually actually here in this chair with this guitar, and where I play my music. It can be my solo projects, it can be Árstíð, it can be my heavy rock projects, it can be the whatever I'm composing for the visual medium. And often I try to play songs that, all the songs that never get released, I sometimes play for the patrons, and they get to hear it. And sometimes they will tell me, this song is great, you have to release it. So it's also becoming, for me, a very sort of, it's almost like having a trusted group of like a super fans that I know personally, and I trust their opinion, and I also trust that the fact that they won't take, if I show them or upload a song that's not finished or a demo, I know that they're not gonna upload on internet. I can trust that they will keep it within the group. So with that sort of confidence going on, I'm showing more and more. So it's becoming very, very personal. But like I said, it's actually, I'm getting a lot of really, really, really valuable creative feedback on my music. So now I'm showing music demos before I even show it to Árstíð or my bands. I ask my patrons, well, what do you think about this song? Should I keep working on this one, or should I throw it on the floor? Mm-hmm. So yeah, Patreon is very much a community. And if anybody's watching this and you are interested in what I do, then please check it out. Yeah, like I said, people can pledge different things, but I don't believe in hierarchies. So I just I just give everybody access to the same thing, and everybody's welcome.
Yeah. There's another question.
Matthias. No, actually, Árstíð has been deliberately working against this, because we felt that there is a trap. You can fall into this cliche, and I know musicians from Iceland who don't speak with a Björk accent, but then when they go on tour, then all of a sudden they speak like this and Björk, like they become like elves, and they are really, really Icelandic. And and for me personally, and for Árstíð also, our trademark and our music and everything we do is about being honest. So if we're honest in the way we write music, then we are so honest about the way we are. And I speak, I think, pretty good English. I have an accent, but I don't speak like Björk, so I'm not going to pretend that I speak like Björk. And for Árstíð, it even became, we could go on a glacier and play a song, or we could stand in front of a volcano and play a song and do that, but we didn't. And we, even people asked us, like, why don't you play in nature, and we said, we'd rather just play in a German train station, do something different. We're not Björk. So it's a good question, Matthias, and it's definitely something that we thought about, and it goes back to what we always do. We are honest about everything about our art, and we're honest about who we are.
Yeah. I think with this interview, we make a lot of people curious about your music, and they want to listen to you. And luckily, you have a tour planned.
Yes, finally we have a tour plan. This is Ástir again, and we have booked a tour in December, and we have this tradition. I mentioned this before, that for now since 2008 we play a special Christmas show in Reykjavik, and we mix our own songs with traditional Icelandic and Nordic Christmas songs, basically. And this is, where we first started performing Herinn Smiður, the song we then later sang at the train station. And since 2018, we've been taking this, making a tour. So every December we make a tour in Europe where we don't play our normal set list, we play our sort of Christmas show set list. So next December, we're going to go back on the road with our sort of holiday show where we mix our songs with our own interpretations of traditional Icelandic and Nordic Christmas songs. So, and that's the first tour we had, to look forward to now for more than a year because of the pandemic. Yeah. So it goes without saying that when we finally get back on the road, we're going to have all this saved up energy and excitement. So I think we will play like with more passion than ever before, I think. But before that, we also have now a couple of shows in the Netherlands in August. So we have 2 appearances at this great festival called Castle Fest. And this is the first weekend of August. And we also, that same weekend, we also have 2 shows in Nijmegen. And this should all be on our homepage, which you see on the screen right now. So yeah, that's a start.
Great, that's a start. So to our audience, if you want to see or meet Ragnar, you can go to Patreon. We will put the link also, or probably Gertje was already posting the link, the direct link in our YouTube channel or wherever. And you can, of course, visit one or all the concerts in December or August. And if you like this interview, you will find a donation button also on our page. And support the great work of Raggi the Slave, I would say.
Raggi Slave, yeah, exactly.
Raggi Slave, yeah.
And actually, I'm curious to hear if there's any final questions from anyone listening. I really enjoyed the interaction.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, then ask away. Because I still have some coffee left in my mug. No pressure.
No questions from the audience. I have one last question. Can we expect also another album from Ástir?
Yes, very much so. Because we couldn't tour last year, me, Gunnar, and Daniel, we spent the whole year writing music, and we have written so much music that we have a whole pile of songs. And I guess from starting now and for the next year or 2, there'll be a lot of music coming from Ástir. 1 album this year for sure, and then some more. I can't disclose all our plans right here, but
Yeah, no problem.
There's gonna be a lot of good music, and we believe this is, we're making better music than ever because of this, and the way we write music. We're always challenging each other, and right now we feel like we've never had such good material in our hands, and we can't wait to show it to the world.
Great.
Nordic family is asking, which is your favorite place in Iceland? I guess right now it would be the volcano. That's going on just 40 minutes outside Reykjavik.
Have you been there?
Yes, I just went there last Sunday.
Wow, nice.
And I brought my guitar and I played a few songs. So I guess right now that would be the volcano. But on times when the volcano is not going on, I would say my favorite place, would be the West Fjords. And if you want to visit Iceland, then you should definitely try and go to the West Fjords.
Oh yes, yeah.
Would you consider playing jazz? Yes, I have done actually for a short time. For a long time, I was a troubadour playing. So it's a way of making a living as a musician and not having to work a normal job, because sometimes when you work on your own music, you don't always get so much money from that, and there's periods when you have to invest a lot of energy into your own music, and then there's short periods of touring or album releasing when the money comes back. But as a way of keeping myself afloat financially as a musician, for a few years I played covers for a living. So I was playing covers in bars and stuff like that, and this extended to, there was a wine bar that had a piano. So for some time I played jazz standards on the piano there, and 2-3 hours every night, and that was also a way of making music, making money from music. So I am very familiar with the jazz standard songbook. So
how many instruments are you playing?
My main instruments are piano and guitar and vocals, but I play, I can get something out of pretty much any instrument.
Okay. Great.
And I write for every instrument. So I have like string. I don't play violin myself, but I write strings every day. So I have a sense for the instruments, and then when it's time, like an Árstiðir, when it's time for us to record string arrangements, then we call our friends who actually know how to play the cello and the violin, and they come and perform our music for us. But yeah.
So how did you learn to write these strings? I mean, that's not
just listening. I have no formal education. It's just learning by doing.
Okay.
And listening. So, and now I'm writing for TV, and all of a sudden I have a score with 100 channels and big string arrangements, and it's just listen and trying to backwards engineer what's going on. But then again, I think what's more important always than any sort of theoretical knowledge is to just train your ear, but more importantly, cultivate your own voice, because there's a lot of musicians who are technically proficient and they can play perfectly, or they can but when they write music, it becomes boring. And I think it's my blessing that I never learned formal music education, because that means I've always had to make music on my own terms, and that has sort of made me cultivate my own musical voice. So I don't write perfect contrapunct, no, but that's why I don't sound like Bach. I sound like Ragnar. I sound like Ragnar Ólafsson. I don't sound like Beethoven, because I don't have the same education as he does, but then Beethoven doesn't sound like me. I mean, I'm not trying to sort of brag here. I'm just saying that, and I'm serious here when I say that there's so many musicians in the world making great music, and I think at the end of the day, to find your own voice and be unique is always more important than doing something that's perfect.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think you feel it when you hear it.
I think so too.
Yes.
And that's what people, that's the honesty I spoke about earlier. If you're honest about, you're not trying to sound like anybody else, then at the other end, people will feel that, you know, the music you make is honest. And I think honesty overrides any need for perfection or music theory or whatever.
Okay. I think that's a good point to say thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
I really enjoyed this as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ragnar.
And everybody else who's watching, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Grazie.